Hello, welcome again to DeKalb Talks Tourism. We have a returning guest with us, Jena Allison.
Yes, happy to be here.
From Fernbank Museum of Natural History.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting here talking before the show. You think you were maybe number 4.
Yeah, it was back when you guys first started this endeavor, and it's impressive to see how much you've grown. I really, I love the new setup and the new atmosphere. It's exciting.
Well, now you're number 56. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take both of these spots.
And we've been doing this show a little over a year, but not, I think it was like maybe May or something like that we started last year.
Wow.
So a little over a year.
56 and just over a year is very good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Monica has me scheduled sometimes 1, 2, 3 podcasts a week.
Keep you busy.
So she's a great producer, and we have a lot of fun doing this. This is our second evolution of the studio, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah, it really seems like you guys have come together to create something really cool for the city. So
for any new listeners or people watching the show, tell us about yourself again.
Well, my name's Jena Allison, and I manage the communications, which is like social media, email, PR for Fernbank Museum. Fernbank's been around 32 years, I believe, this year. It's over in, technically we're in Atlanta, but it's basically Decatur. It's over in that area. Mm-hmm. And for people who get confused, they usually know us as the museum that has the really big dinosaurs in the Great Hall. That's what we're known for more than anything else, is our giant dinosaur skeletons.
Well, I have a bad habit of want to call you the Dinosaur Museum, but you're so much more.
Oh, yeah. So much more. We're great for dino lovers, but we do a lot of nature experiences. We have 75 acres of forest out there, mm-hmm. We do like hiking trails and walks and special exhibits in, and we have rotating special exhibits 3 times a year, indoors as well, plus just a million other things. We have 3 floors of all immersive
Well,
content,
nice thing about your outside, some of your trail is very handicap accessible.
Yes, it's
boardwalk and bridges and all. So
yeah, that's something that's really unique about Fernbank, is because people who do fall more into the ADA category are able more easily to get around outside and get out into nature in a way that might be more difficult other places. Is something we pride ourselves on a lot.
Now, do you all offer a membership or where you don't want to go? You've done the museum and all. You just want to go out and walk the boardwalk?
Not just for the boardwalk, because you do have to get into the museum to go to the boardwalk, but we do offer a membership that something we do that's really unique to Fernbank, I think, is if you go and you buy general tickets and you end up really enjoying the experience, you can convert what you've paid into going towards a membership, so that you're not going then and then again paying a full price for a membership. So it's almost like you can try it before you buy it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And our members get a lot of like special events that'll happen. And we do a lot of like discovery days and stuff where there's just a little more on site and like more content, more fun vendors and stuff for people to interact with. So our members seem pretty happy, which is good.
Well, tell us about, was it called the Grand Hall?
The Great Hall.
Great Hall.
Yeah.
Had the right name and I switched it.
The Great Hall is probably the most breathtaking thing you see when you first walk into Fernbank. From anywhere outside the museum near the stairs, you can see the dinos, which are giants of the Mesozoic. The giant Argentinosaurus and Giganotosaurus is almost like a chase scene, is in the Great Hall, and they're towering almost 3 stories high. I mean, they're just massive. And so you walk in the Great Hall and you're walking under the giants, which is something we really find exciting about Fernbank Museum. Oh, yeah. That's an image of a wedding. We do a lot of weddings and events in there.
That's why I brought it up. You do a lot of events there.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
done some events with you all there.
Yeah, it's exciting. And you'll see people walking underneath them, and it gives you a real feel of what it would be like if you were walking around with the dinosaurs during this time. It's really cool.
Now, that's the largest replica, and the find was in Argentina?
It used to be the largest. It's one of the largest now. I don't think it's quite the largest. I don't know if Sue the T-Rex is the largest T-Rex style, because the Giganotosaurus is like related sort of to a T-Rex. I think that one's bigger than the Jig. The Argentinosaurus isn't the biggest, but it's one of them. It's definitely one of the biggest in the world. Yeah.
I think that's changed in the time I've been here.
Yeah.
Well, I've been here 13 years, and it was, and now it's interesting how it's already changed.
It's funny because I was having this conversation like 2 days ago is the only reason I know that. Yeah, I don't know when it changed, but I know it's one of the largest. I don't think it's the largest, though.
Still, to have one of the largest
in Atlanta.
The world, and it's in Atlanta. So are you technically in the city of Atlanta? Because I was thinking, I couldn't tell because it seems like if you went out your front door and crossed the street, you're in Atlanta, but you seem like you're in
Decatur
unincorporated in Decatur.
Yeah. We are in Atlanta zip code, and it takes me 10 minutes to get to Decatur Square from the museum. So that's like how on the outskirts of Atlanta that we are. But we are in Atlanta technically.
We know you're in DeKalb County, so
yes,
that's
we are. Yeah, but we are in Atlanta technically. If we're talking zip codes.
So tell us, what are you here to talk about?
Well, we're really excited about a lot of our special exhibits that are coming up. So I was going to give you guys a little more about what Fernbank has to offer. We're always changing content out. And
I know, it's great.
Yeah, it keeps it exciting for sure, especially for members and guests who have maybe visited in the past. They could come back and see something new. One in particular we have coming up, which I know I was just showing Monica on her social media, is the Armored Animals exhibit. It's got a ton of casts of basically it goes through the last 500 million years of armor evolution and the way that humans have taken ideas from these animals and their animal armor and adapted it to using their current armor in battle now and in weaponry and whatnot and helmet style. Yeah, you can see that right there. Helmet style and everything. And it shows a lot of dinosaur casts and like other animals, armadillos, turtles and whatnot. But there's also a replica of the super croc, the skull of the super croc, which is basically the megalodon of crocodiles. Like if you were to pair a crocodile back in the day with a megalodon, it would be that one. And there's also a 30-foot replica of another giant crocodile in there. So it's like you're there among these ancient creatures that are just massive, which is, it's supposed to be really cool. I'm excited about it. They're bringing it in like the next week or so to build it. So.
Well, that's pretty cool because when I had my Indiana Welcome Center, we had an alligator, a full-size alligator, brought in as an exhibit in our Welcome Center. It's like you got to pet it, and it really does feel like armor.
It's wild, isn't it? Yeah. It's just the hardened nature of their skin is unreal, and you could, like I was saying, you could see in that picture where the skeleton has the helmet and the full body armor on, the way that it's adapted, even in just texture style.
That almost looks like something you would see out of like Samurai or something. Those movies.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, it's interesting the way to see the way that humans have taken inspiration from animals and the way that they protect themselves and starting to adapt to it, because we don't have that natural shell, so we gotta steal other people's ideas.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But that is something we have coming in October that we're really excited about, and it opens October 5th.
So now, inside the building, where would this exhibit be?
So if you go into the Great Hall, which is on the first floor, walk underneath the Argentinosaurus, the biggest of the dinosaurs, and straight ahead, you'll see Armored Animals. That's our special exhibit hall.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that one changes 3 times a year, usually in June, October, and February. So we're on our 3rd exhibit this year, and then we have another one coming in February. And they rotate out constantly. Our exhibit team does a really good job of reconstructing them because they come from all over the world and ship items to us and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
So what did this guy do to get in trouble and be a skeleton only?
I don't know. I don't know if he was donated or how he got there, but he's a pretty good replica of it.
Definitely.
But yeah, and that's the main thing in October that's coming. But we have, obviously, Halloween is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so we have 2 different events that we've planned around the holiday, which is exciting. One of them is Fright Night, which is super popular. It's this adult costume party. There's a contest. There's offers for like alcoholic beverages, and you go and you dance, and it's adults only 21 and up. So, get a babysitter for the kids, come with your spouse or with your partner, with your friends, and you just hang out and dress up, and it's a really good time. It always sells really well. It always sells out. People really like the experience because it's in the Great Hall under the dinos. So we have
that. Sounds like an event that Monica and Junior like to go and videotape and
get
dressed up and
come see it. It's on October 25th. If you want to come, you let me know. But it's pretty exciting. And then the very next morning, from 10 a.m. to 1, we have our dinosaur trick or treat, which is more for like the kids. And we set up different themed tables all around the exhibit, and they can come and wear their little costumes and trick or treat to the tables. And,
oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's something that my department actually puts on every year. So we have a really good time with it.
I wish my kids were younger again.
I know. Mine are 9 and 11, and so they're just on the edge of the Halloween thing. And I'm like, do you guys want to come? But they're still really into it, so it's okay.
Can I bring like a 23 and a 21 and a 20?
Come on. Yeah. Hey, you guys dress up. Let me take your picture. You can come as much as you want. Yeah, it'll be a really fun time. Parents get involved too. You'll see whole family costumes and stuff, which is cool. It's a pretty exciting time at Fernbank. But yeah, so that's most of October. In November, we actually open back up our Wildwoods Aglow exhibit, which is, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this last time, but I don't
think so.
It's this gorgeous outdoor illuminated walkthrough experience. Yeah, you can see this on here.
It's kind of like so pretty, like our version of the Piedmont Park.
Kind of, yeah.
Park, no, the
botanical
gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. But it's so it's not Christmas or holiday themed, which is kind of cool for people who don't fall into that religion and tradition. It's not culturally based, it's more nature based, but it offers another like illuminated experience for people to go outside and get to do something really fun this time of year. But as you can see there, I mean, it's beautiful.
And now this would be good for my family.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's an easy walk. It's through the Wildwoods area, which is, as you were saying, ADA accessible. So it's just the boardwalk. It's not out in the woods where you'd be worried about tripping over something.
Yeah,
it's a very easy area. And those mushrooms you're seeing there are 8 feet tall. Some of them, I mean, they're taller than me. You know, you walk through the big archway, you walk through the tulip poplar pod, which I think is the second thing it shows on here, maybe. That's just a real create, so it's circling, but it's like this giant, this huge illuminated structure. And it's supposed to be showing you like a nocturnal view of nature and bringing it to light so that you can see it, even though the things you wouldn't usually see in the dark, and how it's all connected with the root systems and whatnot. But it's just gorgeous. And so we're bringing that back for a third year, but what's exciting is we're going to keep the Film Museum open this year, which we haven't done in the past. So guests will be able to come in and explore all 3 floors.
Oh, okay.
The special exhibit will have Winter Wonderland open on the 23rd, which is our cultural tree exhibit. So they're all like lit up trees and covering 2 floors. We partner with like 20-ish cultural organizations who come and decorate their own trees, and it's beautiful.
I haven't seen that since the kids were young.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's, if you remember, it's going on its 15th year now. It's it's my favorite thing we do, honestly. It's very popular, but it's cool because you're going at night to see a glow, so then you see the trees all lit up in the darker backdrop in the museum, and it's just beautiful.
I had this in Indiana in my big exhibition hall. Do you have I had snowmakers that would drop snow when you first walked in the door?
Oh, that sounds fun.
I had 2 arches you would go through, and then it would be snow.
Oh, yeah.
It was like that.
We don't, cool. But I will break it up. That sounds really nice.
Oh, it was very, very cool. And you got to figure that had to be 20-some years ago, so they're probably much more efficient now.
Oh, yeah. More technologically up to date. That's important when you're putting on stuff.
But it's cool because you walked in the door and then you don't expect it to have snow.
Yeah. I know. It's really, we were talking about things to enhance the Winter Wonderland experience today, actually. We don't have anything set in stone yet, but we were discussing what we could do just because it's going on 15 years. It's like such a big deal for us. So we're excited about having this exhibit come back. And of course, all the cultural partners who come in and help us out with it are just, we could not thank them enough. But it's gorgeous. So I highly recommend go see a glow, especially after Winter Wonderland opens. You get this full gorgeous experience. It's really nice.
Oh, yeah, it's a great package.
Yeah, exactly.
Really 3.
Yeah. Especially if you're really into the whole lights part of the holidays, which I am. I just love looking at them. And so, yeah, I'm excited about this to open. I'll definitely be bringing my family to it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, those are some big things we have coming towards the end of the year. And we have different Discovery Days. We have a Armored Animals Day, which will celebrate Armored Animals opening. That's October 19th. We have a Adventures in Science Day in November, which is another just like, that draws more of a 5 or 6 year old crowd, and it's like little easier experiments for them. And that's, I want to say the 10th of November. Or maybe the 9th. It's that Saturday. I think it's the 9th. But yeah, we have stuff like that, and it just kind of adds a little something extra coming up to Fernbank to round out the end of 2024.
Now in March of next year, do you have anything science related, science fiction related?
We do in April. Well, I wouldn't call it science fiction. In April of next year, we have Little Critters Day coming, but I wouldn't call it science fiction necessarily. It's more like nature-based.
Okay.
Did you have something in mind that we should
Well, we're going to have it's going to be returning from a COVID hiatus. There's going to be a science fiction and science expo at North Lake Mall. That's also going to be tied in together with the new Emory Science Center that was just opened this past Sunday at North Lake Mall.
Oh, wow.
And it's also part of the Atlanta Science Month.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I knew that. Sometimes we go out to the, I think they do an Atlanta Science Festival, right? Yeah. Our educators are pretty good about taking our Fernbank on the go van. It's our little Scooby van, and it goes out and they'll do experiments in the community and stuff. They usually go to the Atlanta Science Festival. I didn't realize that was in March, but they do usually do. So you'll see Fernbank there most of the time.
March,
too.
Right? I have the right month, isn't it? March. That I believe we're going to be doing it's a brand. They said it stopped from COVID and it's returning.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'm sure our educators have this on their radar, but I'll mention it to them either way because it's definitely something we like to be involved in out in the community with. We're really big on STEAM programming. We have a STEAM lab, and just helping schools and especially kids coming up, especially like we do a lot of partnerships with underfunded schools and stuff in Atlanta, and helping them just get that important STEAM education that they might not get on their day-to-day.
Now, do you work with the Fernbank Science Museum?
We don't know. So the Fernbank Science Center, many years ago, we were, I think, kind of partnered many years ago. And Fernbank Science Center is government run,
right?
I believe, which
County
is where
school
we're
system.
A nonprofit, right. So we're completely separate, even though that's why we.
Well, I knew you were separate. I just didn't know if y'all, because it seemed like they're doing a big push to do more things and have more partners. And
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I know that they're currently closed is the most recent update I had on them. I think they're doing renovations or something, but we don't do a lot with them, but people do get us confused quite a lot.
Well, when I first got here, I kind of did, but now I definitely know the difference.
Yeah.
But
we always say that we're the ones with the dinosaurs in it, and that's how people are like, oh, okay.
I think that's why I started calling you the Dinosaur Museum.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I believe your forest connects.
Yes, it does.
So, I mean, you have so many dynamics that put you all together, even though you're not.
And I think that's where Fernbank came from for both of them, too, was because of the forest.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because even though the museum for Fernbank Museum of Natural History has been open about 32 years, the forest has been there much, much longer. It was in, I want to say, the 1930s is when we started taking it over for conservation efforts and whatnot.
So are you moving towards more Fernbank Museum?
Yeah, it's Fernbank. We were Fernbank Museum of Natural History, and now it's Fernbank Museum. God, I'm going to get it wrong. Fernbank Museum, I want to say exhibits 3D theater and forest. I think that first word is wrong, though. I don't use that full title very much because more than anything else, people know us as Fernbank Museum.
Well, I even struggled when I first started the show. Is like Fernbank Museum. Then I was like, and natural history.
Yeah. People say it a lot. Oh, yeah. Museum 3D. Okay. So I just threw in exhibits. It's Museum 3D Theater and Forest. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we did a rebranding and dropped the natural history because it's so much more than that. Right. And people think history is like, this is something museums fight against in general, is like, oh, well, you're just walking through reading a bunch of panels and it's not exciting. And that's just not the case at Fernbank.
Yeah, old museums, they have to progress.
We're fighting against the stereotype all the time, man. You got to keep it interesting.
Yep, very true.
Yeah. We see that a lot with a lot of augmented reality and stuff that's coming up, and really large casts. And what, like Ultimate Dinosaurs that's coming in February has 13 real casts of dinosaurs. And so it's 13 giant full-size dinosaur skeletons in it, which is really cool. Which is funny because we're getting a Giganotosaurus, which is one of the dinosaurs we have in our exhibit.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's really cool.
So I was like, we're going to have 2 of them. Yeah. Yeah. And what's cool about this exhibit, Ultimate Dinosaurs, is they have real fossils coming as well, which you don't see much because most dinosaurs you see in museums are casts because they don't want anything to happen to the fossils. You have to really carefully preserve them. But this exhibit has real fossils that come with it, which is really exciting. So,
well, that's the interesting battle between, say, the tourism-minded person and the the museum-minded Because I went round and around. We had this painting that was done by one of the Disney animators.
Oh, very cool.
And it was locked up.
Yeah.
And never wanted to bring it out. And I'm kind of like...
But you got to show it.
Yeah, I didn't spend all this time getting this piece for you all. To me, to have to beg you to pull it out. And like it had to be like a VIP group. And I'm like, well, why did I go get this thing for you?
See, I agree with you. And what's funny is this is my first job in the museum field. I mean, I've been there almost 3 years now, but I was in entertainment forever. So I think like you do, where I'm like, it's there to show it. Like, let's make it exciting. Let's show them why this is fun. And I'm constantly fighting against the museums are boring stereotype because they're not at all. But people, if you don't go to them, if you haven't been immersed in them, you think that sometimes. And I'm like you. I'm like, bring it all out. Let's show it to all of them.
Well, when I was in Indiana, I inherited the John Dillinger Museum.
Oh, yeah.
And the wooden gun, not a soap gun, wooden gun was in our safe.
Well, but it's like,
we had a replica. I'm like, why?
Right.
It's like...
They worry about things happening to the real versions of stuff, which I get to an extent. I mean, you see the Mona Lisa getting paint thrown on the glass part that's covering it in Paris, and you're like, all right, well, I'm glad this was preserved. But, at some point, you gotta people want to see the real thing. I agree with you. So I think that's really cool about Ultimate Dinosaurs is there's some real fossils in there, and you don't see that much.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, dino lovers, come and see the real thing.
And that's going to be February of next year?
Yeah, February 8th. That's the first of our 2025 exhibits that's coming. That'll obviously be after Armored Animals closes. And so we're going into having a couple of dinosaurs to having quite a lot of dinosaurs, which is great for the dino lovers, which, Fernbank offers quite a lot. But dinosaurs are definitely one of the things we do probably the best in Atlanta, I would say, like really, really well.
Yeah.
So
that's your niche.
Yes, definitely, especially with how just huge they are and breathtaking when you see them up front. Yeah. We even have a huge statue in the front and in the back of dinosaurs. So it's just, that's what people associate us with. But it's a good thing.
So tell us, what's your movie?
Right now we're showing two. We're showing Cities of the Future, which we actually have a lecture coming for in very early October. I want to say it's the 4th, but I might be getting that dang wrong. It's very early October though. So Cities of the Future is a scientific insight as to what they think is going to happen in the next 50-ish years from now, and the way that we are treating the Earth now and what that will result in later. And, they're always promising, I don't know if I haven't actually seen this yet, but they're always promising like the flying car stuff and like this is what
or the Jetsons.
Could be, maybe, yeah, but we're still not the Jetsons, so like who knows.
Well, the Jetsons invented so many things we have today.
I did not know that. I love the Jetsons.
Yeah, no, remember on the Jetsons you would have virtual TV? I mean, virtual
That's
communication.
True. You had the Rosie the Robot, too, the AI
Rosie
assistants.
The Robot,
yeah.
AI assistants, and you had where they could talk to each other on the TV. Oh,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was watching this thing, and I can't remember. There was quite a few more things. It was like, whenever the Jetsons was made, other than the flying cars, that pretty much is like where a lot of that is true.
Oh, yeah. It's like The Simpsons, always predicting things that happen before they happen. Yeah. But we have that one out right now, and we also have T-Rex in 3D, which is excellent. T-Rex is really, really well done. It's probably my favorite giant screen movie we've had in the last 3 years that I've seen. And it's just showing... They call it the iconic dinosaur king, which arguably the T-Rex is. And it's just showing the way that it's changed over time. We used to think that they were like standing tall and really they're more hunched over and stuff like that. But it's really well done and interesting the way that it's portrayed and the way that it shows it portrayed over media over time. And it shows like what real life interactions might have been like between dinosaurs with the T-Rex, because it's kind of unbeatable in the dinosaur world and stuff like that. And it also follows an archaeological dig with these like kids who found a T-Rex bone. So it's really good. I like T-Rex quite a lot. It's one of the ones I've seen more than once. So those are two of the movies we have right now. And then with a glow, actually, we're doing a special showing of Flight of the Butterflies, which is what you see right there at the bottom, which is a very popular film. We've had it before many years ago, and we're bringing it back because it was just so well received, especially in our giant screen theater. And what it is you're watching the monarch butterfly as it makes its trajectory through, I want to say like a 6-month period, and you witness it go from one location to the other on a migration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like, just because for years nobody knew where they went, so one scientist followed them, and discovered, like, is basically discovering the monarch's secrets is how it's portrayed. But yeah, it's apparently just breathtaking, seeing just the massive amount of monarch butterflies flying around and whatnot. I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. But that's only showing during Wildwoods Aglow. So
that'd take an undertaking to be able to follow the butterflies.
Can you imagine spending a year basically of your time following a butterfly around and hoping it doesn't leave while you're like sleeping or
that'd be an interesting case study to read or hopefully you did a journal article on this thing.
Probably. I know that the longer we have a shorter version of this film. I know the longer version follows the scientist from like when he was a kid. He was very, very interested in them, and it led to his later decision to follow their migration patterns. I don't think he's featured as much in this version because it is shorter, just because it's during Aglow, so for time interest. But you would have to have just the most insane passion for this subject to follow it for like a year. Yeah. But I hear it's gorgeous, especially on our giant screen theater. It's just breathtaking. So it should be good. Should be exciting.
Now, this is a IMAX, OmniMax, which...
It's not technically IMAX, but it's it's a 4-story theater. So it feels like IMAX.
Yes.
It's huge. Yeah. It's not technically IMAX brand. I think maybe before IMAX changed its dimensions, it was. But it's very large. I don't know if it's the largest in Atlanta. I want to say it's the largest, but I haven't like dove into research that necessarily, but it's certainly the largest in a museum. It's huge. Yeah. So we show some pretty interesting stuff on there, and the films are good too because they're either 25 minutes or 45 minutes. And so for those who have like younger kids who maybe don't want to sit them down for an hour to watch a full movie, you can watch the shorter ones. That's like Flight of the Butterflies, for example. And it's just the right length to like get them to maybe calm down a little, but not completely lose their attention. Right. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. But yeah, we have quite a lot coming to Fernbank. And I mean, 2025, shows more Discovery Days, more events, things that we've got coming down the pipeline that we'll be announcing over time. And we're always trying to keep it exciting and fresh.
So if all of our listeners or people watching want to know more, how do they find you all?
So all of our social media, that's even TikTok, if you want to get real ridiculous with it, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, even X, is at Fernbank Museum. And then our website is fernbankmuseum.org. And all of our information can be found on any of those resources. I highly recommend following our Instagram, though, just to put my own social media plug in there.
So follow y'all on Instagram.
Yes, please.
You can get tickets to come in for the day. You can convert them to
membership.
Right.
And then if you want tickets to anything special, Fright Night, Wildwoods Aglow, those are also for sale, either at the box office or online, depending on what you're looking to do.
And those are all separate price versus the admission.
Yeah, so only a few things are separate prices, but Aglow and Fright Night are both separate prices. But like all the Discovery Days I mentioned, Dino Trick or Treat, Armored Animals Day, all of that is included with admission.
Don't you have like an adult
Oh, we do. Fernbank After Dark.
Date night or something like that?
Yeah. Fernbank After Dark is the second Friday of every month. It's arguably our most popular event. It is very cool. And that is 21 and up, like Fright Night, 21 and up. And what Fernbank After Dark is it's different. It's a different theme every month. And the full museum's open. So you get to go explore the whole museum. When Aglow opens, Aglow will also be open during Fernbank After Dark. And you can buy light bites and tapas, you can buy drinks, and you can walk around in a, childless environment for those who might want to go to the museum without the field trips and whatnot there. And it's at night, so you can go after work. It's nice. I really like it. I've gone with my friends a couple of different times. It's fun. And they do little experiments and stuff there based on the themes that are happening, which is fun.
Y'all been on a date night?
Yeah, we recently went to the one in September.
Okay.
A few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It was really fun.
Did you just post that recently?
No, I haven't posted
Okay, because I was thinking I saw something like that.
Yeah, that's what you were saying, that you just went and visited it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I highly recommend it. It's a really good atmosphere, especially if you want kind of a more chill environment, or for the adults who want to have a few cocktails and go and walk around in the giant treehouse that's usually filled with 5- and 6-year-olds. There's a bunch of adults running through the treehouse like they're kids, and it's just a fun time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we are glad you came back a second time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Next year it sounds like we need to bring you back again to talk about some of your great exhibits going on then.
Yeah, anytime. Or you guys can come see us. We'll walk through it, whichever you want to do.
Yeah, it's true. We could do that.
There's a lot to see, a lot to do.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and let me know if I can give you guys any more info coming up.
Thanks for tuning in or watching. Have a great day.